First one. Here, online applications. So in the last class, just we had an introductory session like what is big data and why Hadoop between these two the current database online applications and batch applications. Hadoop is data like huge volumes of data. Hadoop is meant for batch applications. So currently we have got databases for storing the data. Like user interactive applications, DB to SQL user server, and we have got some applications. Just I'll take 2 minutes what we have discussed in the last session. Specialized databases like Netezza, Vertica, and Teradata user interactive data warehouse purpose. But these databases and specialized databases, they can handle data here up to some certain extent, right? Beyond that, they cannot support. User gives the input. So we have got user interactive applications. Solution here, to all the storage level input. Problems and processing level problems, we have got a framework like Hadoop. Hadoop is mainly meant user for gives the input. Generally, any technology used either for storage or for processing. They're used either for storage or processing, but Hadoop is used for both storage and processing. Booking a movie ticket. Yes. Making an online transaction. Making an online transaction meant for storage, and second meant for processing. Booking a movie ticket, making online transaction, and right processing. Hadoop is meant for both storing data and processing the user data. Need to use the input. We talk about like C, C++, Java, .NET, all meant for processing. How much amount to be Oracle, MySQL, DB2, SQL server, all meant for storage. User, but Hadoop performs both storage and processing. But batch application user non-interactive any databases because databases user non-interactive drawbacks as compared with this, right? So Hadoop is going with a special kind of file system. It's going with a special kind of file system called as applications, right? So Hadoop is meant for distributed user non-interactive applications. And for processing, it is not going with any here. User is nowhere required. It is not going with any current technology. User is nowhere required. Yes. It is going with an execution model called as MapReduce, and currently user is nowhere using Spark. Spark, very high speed processing technology. Here, processing example, huge data in quick time. All right. Yes. Railway ticketing PNR status. So railway ticketing PNR status currently was status produced on Spark. After 1 hour, it is 150. With the current database. Tomorrow morning, it is 100. Tomorrow evening, it got confirmed. Limit. Okay. Tomorrow evening it got confirmed, right? So yes. If before I go with the drawbacks with the databases, you may ask why. So this is happening. Here user is nowhere required there for storing and processing. What is the use of the most current of banking technologies and storage applications? Already Hadoop can perform both and storage like and generating credit card statements. Why again this storage and for millions of customers? You need to clearly understand, right? Hadoop is for batch applications. Hadoop is for millions of customers. Batch applications, sorry, for millions of customers. Hadoop is meant for batch application. Hadoop is meant for batch applications. Generating credit card statements for millions of customers. Railway ticketing PNR status. That's generating credit card statements for millions of customers. Hadoop is meant for batch applications. So there are two types of application. What do you mean by batch application? There are two types of applications. There are two types of applications. The first one, online applications. Okay. Second is like so understood, right? Online applications, batch applications. Hadoop is meant for online applications and batch applications. Hadoop is not for online applications. Batch applications, user non-interactive batch applications. Online applications. Drawbacks with the current databases. User interactive applications. User interactive applications. Hadoop's data. Drawbacks with the current databases. First thing is limited storage. Most of user the databases interactive applications very less storage, right? Limited storage or less storage. No parallel processing in most of the databases. Here, no parallel processing in most of the databases. Here, user gives and the as input. Volume increasing, speed decreases. User interactive applications. Here, user gives the input. Here, see that queries, right? For example, total amount from sales 10 records. Total amount from sales to 10 lakh records. Total amount user from gives sales the input. 10 crore records. Here, as volume increasing from query to query, as the volume increasing, speed decreasing, right? Example, booking the same way, ticket. If complexity increasing, also speed is decreasing here. Total amount from sales booking a 1 lakh ticket. Records. Average amount from sales 1 lakh records. Standard deviation of amount 1 lakh. Making an online transaction. But here, query to query, which query executes faster? Again, the first online query. Transaction. Second query is a two-step process. First sum, next average to be calculated. Booking a movie ticket, making an online transaction, right? So here compulsory, yeah, the user need to use the input, the source account and destination account. User has to provide that how much amount to be forwarded and what is the source account, what is the destination account. User interacts. But batch application, user non-interactive applications. Complexity increases, speed decreases. User non-interactive applications. User non-interactive applications, right? So Hadoop is meant for this user non-interactive applications. Here, user is nowhere required. User is nowhere required. User is nowhere required. Here, example, complexity increases, speed decreases. So here, average amount is a two-step process as compared with the first query, second step. Takes a lot of time, right? And select standard deviation of amount from sales one. So standard deviation of amount from sales status is 200 as compared to the first after query 1 hour it is 150. The third query tomorrow morning standard deviation takes a lot of internal processing. It takes a lot of internal processing. Tomorrow evening it got confirmed, right? Yes. Railway ticketing PNR status. Databases can handle only structured data. They can handle only structured data. They cannot handle everything happening in the background. Data. Most of these banking applications and financial applications are batch applications. And also like generating credit card statements for millions of customers. Credit card statements. Databases can handle only structured data. They cannot handle unstructured or semi-structured data for millions of customers. These are the major drawbacks, right? Yes. Limited storage, no parallel processing. As volume increases, as speed decreases. Total amount from sales, total amount from sales, millions of customers. Total amount from sales, railway ticketing PNR status. That's generating credit card statements for millions 10 lakh records, 10 crore records. So volume increases, speed decreasing. Complexity increases, speed decreases, can handle only structured data. And coming to the Hadoop advantages. Yes, before I go to the Hadoop advantages, you need to know something about the Hadoop architecture. Hadoop doesn't follow client server architecture. It won't follow client server architecture. Okay. So understood, right? Online applications, batch applications. Hadoop is meant for batch application, not for online applications. So batch applications, user non-interactive applications. It and won't here, follow drawbacks with the current databases. Why it won't follow request response? Why databases if you are giving request, giving response, that kind of architecture drawbacks with the current databases follows master limited storage. Most of the databases very less storage, follows limited storage or less storage. No parallel processing in most of the databases. No parallel processing in most of the databases. And as volume increasing, speed decreases. Master slave architecture. See that queries, right? For example, total amount from sales 10 records. Total amount from sales to 10 lakh records. Total amount from sales to 10 crore records. Here, as volume increasing from query to query, as the volume increasing, speed decreasing, right? The same way, if complexity increasing, also speed is decreasing here. Total amount from sales 1 lakh records. Average amount from sales 1 lakh records. Standard deviation of amount master slave architecture. Single master multiple slave. in this which way. Just observe this diagram, right? Again, the first query,
single master and multiple
second query is a two-step process. First sum, next average to be
how Hadoop is able to accommodate unlimited data? How it is going to store unlimited data? Why not the other databases?
Huge data storage, unlimited data storage, and huge data processing is possible in Hadoop. Complexity increases, speed decreases. Single master and multiple slaves. Slave 1, slave 2, so on, slave n. This is the master. Slave 1, slave 2, and slave 3. f1.txt. If complexity increases, speed decreases.
f1.txt.
So here, average amount is a two-step process as compared with the first query, second step.
This f1.txt is divided into smaller parts.
Standard deviation of amount
is divided into smaller parts.
So standard deviation of amount from sales one means as compared to the first query and second query, the third query, standard deviation takes a lot of internal processing. It takes a lot of internal processing, right?
Hadoop masters, single master, multiple slaves.
This databases can handle only structured data. They can handle only structured data. They cannot handle unstructured or semi-structured data. They can handle single master, multiple slaves. This we call it as a cluster. B1, B2, B3. A file is divided. So here each system databases can handle only structured data. They cannot handle unstructured or semi-structured data. Yes, these are the major drawbacks, right? Yes. Limited storage, no parallel processing. As volume increases, as speed decreases. Total amount from sales 1, total amount from sales 2, total amount from sales 3. Here 10 records, here 10 lakh records, 10 crore records, right? So volume increases, speed decreasing. Complexity increases, speed decreases, can handle only structured data. And coming to the Hadoop advantages. Yes, before I go to the Hadoop advantages, you need to know something about the Hadoop architecture. Hadoop doesn't follow client server architecture. It won't follow client server architecture. It won't follow client server architecture. It won't follow request response architecture. If you are giving request, giving response, that kind of architecture is not for Hadoop. Hadoop follows master slave architecture. Hadoop follows master slave architecture. Master slave architecture. Hadoop follows master slave architecture, single master, multiple slave in this way. Just observe this diagram, right? So single master and multiple slaves architecture. So how Hadoop is able to accommodate unlimited data? How it is going to store unlimited data? Why not the other databases? Huge data storage, unlimited data storage, and huge data processing is possible in Hadoop. Single master and multiple slaves. So here each system of 1 TB, 1 TB, 1 TB, 1 TB, and 1 TB. But here my file is of 2 TB. This file cannot be accommodated in any of the slave because this 2 TB file
slave
cannot
1,
be
slave
stored in
2,
any
so
of
on,
this
slave n.
S1 or
This
S2
is
or
the
S3.
master. Slave
So
1,
it will be
slave 2,
divided
and
into
slave 3.
smaller parts. Smaller parts we call as blocks.
F1.txt.
So smaller parts. Each one is stored in one system.
F1.txt.
Each one is stored in one system. File is divided into
This
smaller parts.
F1.txt is divided into
Each
smaller
one is stored in one
parts.
system
F1.txt
and
it is
processed
divided into
parallelly.
smaller parts.
And processed parallelly. So here two advantages we can see. Huge data sets or huge data objects can be stored,
Hadoop
can be accommodated,
master,
even
single
2
master,
TB or 3
multiple
TB or
slaves.
petabytes. So
This
still,
we
if you
call
have
it
got
as
some
a
40
cluster.
systems, your data is divided into partitions, and those are distributed across multiple systems and processed by multiple systems parallelly.
Single
You no need
master,
to take care
multiple
about all
slaves.
this.
We
It
call it as a
automatically
cluster.
takes care. Just you need to give what is the size of each
B1,
block in the
B2, B3.
What is the size of each block?
A file is divided. So
Automatically
here
divides
each
and
system
stores across.
1 TB.
Two advantages: distributed storage and parallel processing. So your data is stored across multiple systems. Data is processed by multiple systems parallelly. B1 stored here, B2 here, B3 here. Executing the B1, nothing but a T1 task. Executing this B2, nothing but a T2 task. Executing this B3 is nothing but T3 task. T1 task assigned to system 1, T2 task executing this B2 is nothing but is assigned to system 2, T3 task is assigned to system 3. Means master is assigning a task to the slaves. So slaves has to execute the tasks. It everything taken care by framework itself. You don't need to perform any of this. So master, what do you mean by a cluster? What do you mean by Hadoop cluster? What do you mean by a cluster? Group of nodes. Group of nodes. What do you mean by nodes? Nodes nothing but CPUs. Connected in a network. Connected in a network. Group of nodes, CPUs connected in a network. There are two types of nodes. There are two types of nodes. Master node, slave node. First is master node and second is like slave node. Master node, slave node. Master node responsibilities. Master node responsibilities. Master node responsibilities. Task assignment. Second is load balancing. Task assignment, load balancing. Master node responsibility, task assignment, load balancing. So assigning tasks to the slaves, what are the tasks assigned should be equally assigned to all the slaves. And third is fault tolerance. Single master
Fault
and multiple
tolerance
slaves. So here each system
Observe.
of 1 TB,
If
1
multiple
TB,
tasks,
1 TB, 1
if
TB and 1
multiple
TB.
tasks T1, T2, T3,
But here my file is
assigned to
of 2
multiple
TB.
slaves.
This file
See,
cannot be
multiple tasks
accommodated
T1,
in any
T2,
of this
T3
slave
assigned to multiple slaves.
because this
So
2 TB file
when they're
cannot be
executing
stored in any
parallelly,
of this
suddenly if any one system is
S1
down,
or S2 or
then the
S3.
task of it has to be assigned to any of the other
So it
slave.
will be
That is
divided
called
into
fault
smaller
tolerance.
parts.
So let I discuss in
Smaller
brief
parts
about
we
it.
call as blocks. So smaller
And
parts. Each
health
one is stored in
monitoring.
one
Next is
system.
like health monitoring.
Each one is stored in one system.
Health
File is
monitoring.
divided into smaller parts.
Master node
Each one is stored
responsibilities,
in one system
task assignment,
and processed
load balancing,
parallelly.
fault tolerance, health
And
monitoring.
processed parallelly. So here two advantages
Yes.
you can see. Huge data sets or huge data
Slave
objects
node
can be stored
responsibilities. can be accommodated, even it is 2 TB or 3 TB or petabytes. So
Data
still, if you
stored
have
in the
got some
slaves,
40
data
systems,
processed in the slaves.
your data is divided into
Slave node
partitions, and
responsibility.
those are distributed across
Data
multiple
storage
systems
and data processing.
and processed by multiple systems parallelly. You no need to take care about all this. It automatically takes care. Just you need to
Data
give what is
processing.
the size of each block in that cell. What is the
Data
size of
storage
each
and
block
data
that you need to
processing.
give? Automatically divides and stores
So
across.
let us discuss in brief about this architecture,
advantages?
storage architecture and processing
Distributed
architecture.
storage and
Storage
parallel
architectural
processing.
components and processing
So your
architectural
data is
components.
stored across multiple systems. Data is processed by multiple systems parallelly. B1 stored here, B2 here, B3 here. Executing the
advantages,
B1,
unlimited
nothing but a
data
T1
storage.
task. Executing this B2,
Unlimited
nothing
data
but a
storage
T2,
because
T2
of
task. Executing this B3 is nothing but
horizontally
T3
unlimited
task.
scalability because
T1
of
task assigned to system 1, T2
horizontally
task. Executing this B2 is nothing
unlimited
but
scalability.
is assigned to system 2, T3 task is assigned to system 3. Means master is assigning a task to
Horizontally
the slaves.
unlimited scalability.
Slaves has to execute
Very high
the
speed
tasks.
processing. Horizontally unlimited
Everything
scalability.
taken care by framework
Oh,
itself. You
okay.
don't need to perform
Unlimited
any of
data
this.
storage is possible because of unlimited
Master.
scalability. Because
What do you
observe
mean by a
this.
cluster? What do you mean by Hadoop cluster? What do you mean by a cluster? Group of nodes.
If you're running a business
Group
with less
of
number
nodes.
of
What do you
scales,
mean
for
by
example,
nodes? Nodes nothing but
with only 3
CPUs.
systems or 10 systems. You're running a small business with 10 systems
Connected in a network.
S1, S2, so on up to S10.
Connected in a network. S1, S2, so on up to S10. Group of nodes, CPUs connected in a network.
So your business has increased, your branches have increased, your customers have increased,
There are two types
your
of
data has
nodes.
increased. Similarly, your systems also should keep on increasing horizontally.
There are two types of nodes.
Horizontally, unlimited scalability. Horizontally,
Master
unlimited
node,
number
slave
of
node.
slaves
First
to
is
be added.
master node, and second
Horizontally
is like
unlimited
slave
number
node.
of slaves, right? Master node, slave node. Master node responsibilities. Master node responsibilities. Master node responsibilities. Horizontally
Task
unlimited
assignment,
scalability.
second
Very
is
high speed
load
processing
balancing.
because of parallel processing. Because of parallel processing, right? Yes. Very high speed processing because of parallel processing.
Task
If you observe
assignment,
parallel
load
and non-parallel,
balancing.
talk about non-parallel and parallel. Master node responsibility, task assignment, load balancing, and parallel. So assigning tasks to the slaves, what are the tasks assigned should be equally assigned to all the slaves. And third is fault tolerance. Fault tolerance means, observe, if multiple tasks
Non-parallel
T1,
and
T2,
parallel.
T3, for example, one person assigned to multiple slaves preparing one item, taking 1 minute. Multiple tasks T1, T2, T3
The same one
assigned to
person
multiple
preparing
slaves.
10 items.
So takes 10
When
minutes.
they're executing parallelly,
The
suddenly
same
if
one
anyone's
person
system is
preparing
down,
100 items,
then the task
takes
of it has
100
to be
minutes.
assigned to any of
But
the
in the
other
case
slave.
of parallel
That is called
processing,
fault tolerance.
one item, 1
Let
minute.
I discuss in brief about it.
10 items also 1 minute,
And
100
health
items also
monitoring.
1
Next is
minute.
like health monitoring. Health monitoring. Master node responsibilities, task assignment, load balancing, fault tolerance,
One item,
health
1 minute,
monitoring.
10 items 1 minute, 100 items also 1 minute.
Yes.
Slave node responsibilities. Data stored in the slaves, data processed in the slaves. Slave node responsibility, data storage and data
Understood.
processing.
Here we are saying about persons, but in our terminology, systems.
Here, 10 systems,
Data
100
processing.
systems running parallelly, 1 minute only.
Data storage and data
Can
processing,
handle all
right?
varieties of data, structured,
So let us
unstructured,
discuss in brief
semi-structured
about
data.
this architecture.
It is an
Storage architecture
Hadoop
and
is an open
processing
source, no
architecture.
licensing is required.
Storage architectural components and
Hadoop is an
processing
open source,
architectural
no
components.
licensing is required, right? Yes. Most of the Hadoop products are from Apache. You can take it from Apache site, Apache Mirror's site. Yes.
Hadoop advantages, unlimited data
Commodity
storage.
hardware. Commodity hardware means Hadoop
Unlimited
can run on
data
any
storage
hardware. It doesn't
because
mean
of
that you need to have the highly
horizontally
configured
unlimited
systems. It
scalability
can run on
because
any
of
hardware systems.
horizontally
So these are the Hadoop advantages.
horizontally
Unlimited data storage,
scalability.
high-speed processing, can handle all varieties of data, structured, unstructured, and semi-structured. Right.
Horizontally unlimited scalability.
Open source and
Very high
commodity
speed
hardware.
processing, horizontally unlimited scalability, and second is okay, unlimited data storage is possible because of unlimited scalability.
Yahoo,
Because
it has taken a table.
observe
See,
this. There are many tests done, right? There are many tests done to check the speed of Hadoop as compared with other
if
things.
you're running
right?
a business with
Yahoo
less
has
number of
conducted
slaves,
a
for
test,
example,
taking
with
a
only
table
3
of
systems
100
or 10
tables
systems.
consisting of 1024
You're running
columns.
a small business with 10
Task is
systems.
sorting based on 16
S1, S2,
columns.
so on up to
Time
S10.
taken, right? By Oracle.
S1, S2, so on up to S10.
To process this, right? 100 TB data, sorting based on 16 columns. It has taken nearly
Your business has
3.5 days.
increased.
Your branches have increased. Your customers have increased. Your
Teradata
data
has
it has
increased.
taken nearly
Similarly,
4.5
your
hours.
systems also should keep
Sorry.
on increasing.
MySQL has taken
horizontally.
6 days.
Horizontally,
3.5 days.
unlimited
But specialized
scalability.
databases like
Horizontally,
Teradata,
unlimited
which
number
are used
of
for data
slaves to
warehouse,
be
taken
added.
just 4.5
Horizontally,
hours.
unlimited number of
Netija,
slaves, right?
another specialized database used for data warehouse, used just 3 hours, taken just 3 hours. Finally, Hadoop. Hadoop has taken 3.4 minutes.
Yes.
Hadoop has just taken 3.4 minutes. The latest version of Hadoop has just taken
Horizontally, unlimited
1.2 minutes.
scalability.
Very high speed
This is
processing
the speed
because
of
of
Hadoop
parallel
compared
processing.
with the things.
Because of
right?
parallel
This is
processing, right? Yes. The speed of Hadoop as compared with the other databases. Very high speed processing because of parallel processing.
not only
If
processing
you observe
point of
parallel
view,
and
Hadoop has
non-parallel,
proven in the market.
to talk about
Storage point
non-parallel
of
and
view
parallel,
also, right?
you can just also see Hadoop has also
Non-parallel
proven
storage point of view.
Here I got a query. And parallel. Why databases like Oracle won't support unlimited storage? Why databases? Why databases like Hadoop? Why databases like
Non-parallel and
Hadoop?
parallel.
For example, one person preparing one
No,
item,
no,
taking
sorry,
1
databases
minute. Like Oracle, the same one person
won't
preparing 10
support
items takes 10 minutes.
won't support unlimited.
The same
won't
one person
support
preparing
unlimited
100 items takes
storage.
100 minutes. But in the case of parallel process,
if we talk
for Oracle,
one item,
in the
1
real
minute,
time, you can go with multiple systems.
10 items
Means,
also 1 minute,
Here,
100 items
databases
also 1 minute.
and the max limit on the number of slaves. Max limit on the number of slave systems. Okay. In parallel number of one
slave
item 1 minute,
systems.
10 items 1 minute, 100 items also 1 minute. First one, databases and max limit on the number of slave systems. Database like Oracle, it can go with a maximum 256 nodes or systems. Okay, 256 nodes. Max, beyond that it cannot support. Even MySQL,
we are saying about
even
persons, but in
MySQL,
our
right?
terminology,
Maximum it can go
systems.
with. It can go with only 54. It can go only with 54 systems. 100 systems running parallel and 1 minute only. MySQL Express can handle all varieties of data, structured, unstructured, and semi-structured data. It is Hadoop is an open source. No licensing is required. Hadoop is an open source. No licensing is required, right? SQL
most
server.
of the Hadoop products are from Apache.
SQL server. You can take it from Apache site. Apache mirrors the site. It can go with a maximum 256 nodes. Commodity hardware. Commodity hardware means
Oracle,
Hadoop can run on any hardware. It doesn't mean that you need to have
server,
the highly configured systems. It can run on any hardware systems. DB2 so these are the Hadoop advantages, right? Unlimited data storage, high-speed processing, can handle all varieties of data,
SQL server,
structured, unstructured, and semi-structured, right? Open source and commodity hardware. Yahoo, it has taken a table. See, there are many tests done, right? There are many tests done to check the speed of Hadoop as compared with other things, right? Okay. Yahoo has
all these
conducted a
databases
test can go with
taking a table
maximum
of
100
256
TB
nodes.
consisting of
Beyond that, it cannot
1024
support
columns.
even databases like
Task is
Oracle.
sorting based
For
on
example,
16 columns.
even if
Time
256
taken,
nodes
right,
are used
by Oracle means just like your mobile phone. To process
a labor
this,
example,
100
just
TB
like
data.
your mobile phone, if it is
Sorting based
given
on
64 GB
columns,
internal
taken nearly
storage,
3.5
if
days.
all the 64 GB, if you have filled it,
Teradata,
the
it has
performance
taken
of the
nearly
phone
4
degrades. In the
hours,
same
right?
way here, if all the
Sorry,
256 nodes
MySQL has
utilized,
taken 6 days.
the performance
Oracle
of the
3.5
system
days,
degrades.
but specialized
Sometimes it won't
databases
even
like
start.
Teradata, which are used
And
for
now,
data warehouse,
talk
taken just
about the
4.5
specialized
hours.
databases like
Netija,
Teradata, another specialized
like
database
Teradata,
used
it
for
can go
data
with
warehouse.
maximum 512
Used
nodes.
just 3 hours, taken just
512
3
nodes.
hours.
Currently, it is
Finally,
going with
Hadoop.
1024,
Hadoop
right?
has taken 3.4
1024
minutes.
nodes or systems.
Hadoop has just taken 3.4
Next, it is
minutes. The latest version of
Netija.
Hadoop has just taken 1.2 minutes.
It is going with 512 nodes.
This is the
512
speed
nodes.
of Hadoop as compared with the other things, right?
Yes.
This is the
Currently, it is going with
speed of Hadoop
1024
as compared with the other
1024
databases.
nodes. And Vertica.
Okay, not only processing point of
Vertica
view, Hadoop has proven in the
also
market.
going with 512
Storage
nodes.
point of view also, right? You can just also see. Hadoop has
512
also
nodes.
proven storage point of view. Here I got a query.
Yes. So none
Why
of these
databases
like
are
Oracle
specialized
won't
databases
support
that
unlimited
handling
storage.
unlimited data not pass. Once this data 1000 nodes gets filled, they cannot support data further.
Why?
But there is no limit.
Databases. Why databases like Hadoop?
But there is no limit on the
Why
number of
databases like
slaves.
Hadoop?
There is no limit.
No, sorry, databases like Oracle.
There is no limit on the number of slaves
Won't
that Hadoop
support.
can have.
Won't support unlimited. Won't support unlimited storage.
So if we talk for Oracle in the real time, you can go with multiple systems. But there is no limit on the number of slaves that Hadoop can have.
And the max limit on the number of slaves. Max limit on the number of slave systems.
No limit on the number of slaves that Hadoop can have. It can go with unlimited number of slaves.
First one, databases and max limit on the number of slave systems. Database like Oracle,
Yahoo
it can
when
go
first
with
time
maximum
implemented Hadoop. Yahoo when first time implemented Hadoop.
256 nodes or systems. 256 nodes. Max, beyond that it cannot support. Even MySQL, right? Maximum
Went
it can
with
go
4,000
it
slaves
can go
for
with only
storing its
54.
data.
It can go only with
4,000
54
nodes
systems.
for storing its data.
And
currently it is going with
MySQL Express is there. MySQL
currently
Express.
Yahoo going with
It can go with the 256 nodes. So, and if you talk about
12,000 nodes.
SQL Server,
Facebook
it can
when
go
first
with the
time
maximum
implemented Hadoop.
256 nodes.
Facebook when first time implemented Hadoop.
And Oracle, MySQL, MySQL Express, SQL Server, and DB2. DB2 means 256 nodes.
8,000 nodes for storing its data.
MySQL,
Currently Facebook going
Server,
with
DB2.
It's going with 52,000 nodes for storing its data. So there is no limit on the number of systems that Hadoop can have, right?
Okay.
Unlimited.
All these
right?
databases
5,000
can go with
1,000 or
maximum
5,000 or
256
10,000 or
Beyond that,
50,000,
it
right?
cannot support.
There is
Even
no, right?
databases like Oracle.
So Hadoop
For
is proven
example,
in the market,
even
storage
if
point of
256
view,
nodes are
processing
used,
point of view, with
means
unlimited
just
data
like your
storage
mobile
and very
phone.
high
We
speed
take a labor
processing.
example, just like
That's
your
how it is
mobile phone,
constructed.
if it is given
The
64
speed
GB
wise
internal
also, like
storage,
with it has taken
if all
days
the
of
64
time,
GB if you have
and
filled
this
it,
has taken hours of time, but Hadoop has taken
then
minutes of
the
time.
performance of the
So
phone
just I was
degrades.
briefing
In the
you,
same way
right?
here, if all the
Like,
256
what
nodes
is
utilized,
Spark,
the
PySpark, need
performance
for
of the system
PySpark,
degrades.
a real life
Sometimes it
usage
won't
of
even start.
PySpark job
And
market.
talk about the specialized
so
databases
Apache
like
Spark
Teradata.
is an open source distributed cluster computing framework
512 nodes.
introduced by Apache Software
512
Foundation.
nodes. Currently,
It is a general engine for big data analysis,
1024
processing,
nodes
and computation,
systems.
right? And why
Next,
PySpark? It is a
Netija.
Python API to use a Spark. PySpark is a Python API to use a Spark.
512 nodes.
So I said it is a the cluster
Currently,
computing
with
system which is used for big data solution. It's a lightning fast technology that is designed for fast computation. It's an open source.
Vertica.
It is a
also going with 512 nodes.
PySpark is used for running a distributed SQL.
512 nodes.
PySpark used for creating a data pipeline.
So none of these databases
for ingesting data into databases are handling also used for running ML algorithms.
Not pass. Once this
also
data
1,000
nodes
working with
filled,
graph algorithms
data further.
for data
But
streams.
there is no limit.
And need for PySpark. So huge data is getting generated.
There is no limit.
So this data contains of hidden patterns, unknown corrections, user preferences, market trends, and other useful information. So you need to extract valuable information from the raw data. So we need to have some efficient tools to perform these kind of operations for huge data. So we need some scalable and flexible tools to crack this, right? And gain benefit from this. So PySpark is such a
But there is no limit on the number of.
So combining the Python and Spark will be the efficient way for the world of big data. That's why Apache Spark community came up with a tool called PySpark. Python.
No limit on the number of slaves that Hadoop can have.
It can go with unlimited
Python API
number
for
of slaves. Real life usage of PySpark. So it is used in the commercial sector.
Okay.
PySpark is used
Yahoo,
in the commercial
when
sector.
first time implemented
Spark,
Yahoo,
a real-time processing. Banks and other financial fields, they're using Spark, PySpark to retrieve the customer's social media profile and analyzing, gaining insights, which helps in taking the right decisions
for storing its data.
And then credit risk assessments
for storing its data.
And fraud detection.
Currently, it is going with
in healthcare, analyzing the patients
Yahoo going with
and who is going to face that issue based on these records. And even entertainment industry like Netflix using a PySpark
12,000 nodes.
The popular OTT platform like Netflix using Spark, right? Real-time processing.
When first time implemented
online movies or web
series. Facebook when first time
is going to process nearly 450 billion events per day streamed over server-side applications. And also like e-commerce,
went with
e-commerce
8,000
websites
8,000
like
nodes
Flipkart,
for
Amazon,
storing its data.
all these Apaches.
Currently,
Amazon, Flipkart are using Apache Spark for advertising and to enhance the customer experience, right? Even in the tourism industry to advise millions of customers in this way. Today, PySpark is mostly used, and even PySpark has got a great demand.
nodes for storing
the job market for it, right? Because of its very high speed, huge data processing.
So there is no limit on the number of
systems that Hadoop can
see
have.
In the
previously, I have shown one example.
Right?
5,000,
very
high speed
10,000 or 50,000, right?
And
there is no.
if you see the salary package for this,
So
also
Hadoop is
like
proven
2
in the
times
market,
more than
storage
the other
point of view, processing point
or
of
1.5 times
with
more than the other
unlimited data
technologies.
storage
You can
and
compare
very high
the
speed
salary
processing.
packages, right?
Just now it is
So the same way they'll be expecting the
speed
skills
wise
from you,
also
the
like
technical
method has
skills
taken
of this
days of
PySpark.
time.
So everything
this
will
has
be
taken hours
discussing
of
from the
time,
ground
but
level
Hadoop
to
has
advanced
taken
level
minutes
with
of
many
time.
working
So
examples.
just I was briefing
You
you,
see
right?
that course
Even
content
like
for it.
what is Spark,
So-
PySpark, need for PySpark, a real life
This is the
usage
course
of
content,
PySpark,
big data
PySpark
Hadoop, what is
job
big
market.
data need for Hadoop,
This
some
is
RDBMS,
Apache
advantage
Spark
of Hadoop
is an
ecosystem
open source
components,
distributed cluster
Hadoop
computing
distributed
framework
file system
introduced by Apache
and
Software Foundation.
entire
It
map
is the
producing
general
with
engine for big data analysis,
Scoop, SQL plus
processing,
Hadoop.
and computation, right?
The
And
first
why
two characters
PySpark?
and the last three
It
characters.
is a Python
SQL
API
plus Hadoop
to use
for import and
Spark.
export operations.
PySpark is a Python
Exporting
API to
from
use
HBase to
Spark.
importing and exporting,
So I
and
said
also
it is
transformations, filtering and
cluster
grouping
computing
metrics, right?
system,
Yet another
which is used for
resource
big data
negotiator.
solution. It's a lightning fast
And
technology
speculative
that is designed
execution,
for fast
speculative job, and
computation.
speculative tasks.
Listen, yarn
open
components,
source.
yarn architecture,
It is
how the processing is happening.
and
I'll be discussing one
PySpark is
NoSQL
used for
database
running
also.
distributed SQL.
So 3 processing components I'll be
PySpark used
discussing.
for running, creating
One
data
storage component
pipelines
like
for
HDFS,
ingesting
one
data into
NoSQL database
databases.
like HBase,
Also used for
and one
running ML
streaming component like
algorithms.
Kafka I'll be
Also,
discussing as part of this
working with
course,
graph algorithms for data streams
and NoSQL database
and
like
many
HBase,
and
Hadoop
need for
database,
PySpark.
and how to
So
perform
huge
CUDA
data is
operations,
getting
creating
generated.
tables,
So
reading,
this data
inserting,
contains
update,
of
edit,
hidden patterns,
and
unknown corrections,
integrations with Hive,
user
and
preferences,
architecture.
market trends, and other
Hive,
useful
one of the
information.
important component of
So you
Hadoop,
need to
only you can
extract
see
that
jobs in
valuable
Hive.
information
You
from
can
the
see
raw
lot
data.
of jobs for only in
So
Hive component.
so we need to
In
have some
Hadoop,
efficient
Hive is
tools
there.
to perform this
You
kind
can
of
see just
operations for huge
type
data.
Hive jobs, we say.
So we need
Just
some
say Hive
scalable and
jobs.
flexible tools to crack
You can
this,
see a lot of jobs.
get and gain benefit from this. So
11,490 Hive job
PySpark is
vacancies
such a
in December
kind.
2024.
So combining a
Hive
Python and Spark
11,490.
is a
Only on Hive,
efficient
if you
way
know
for
that
the world
knowledge
of
on this Hive, right?
big data. That's
Yes.
why Apache Spark community came up with a
Created
tool
at
called
Hive, right?
PySpark, Python
Big data,
plus
Hadoop and
Spark.
Hive. Big
Python
data engineer,
API for
data engineer,
Spark.
like big data,
Real
Hive,
life
Spark,
usage of
Scoop,
PySpark
right? This one.
that is used in the commercial sector. PySpark is used in the
Big
commercial
data,
sector
Hadoop,
like
right?
Apache Spark, a real-time processing. Banks and other
Yes,
financial
lot of jobs
fields,
for this.
they're using Spark, PySpark to retrieve the customer's social media profile and analyzing, gaining insights,
coming back
which
to
helps
this.
in taking the
So
right
only with that way
decisions.
we'll be discussing in brief about
And
Hive,
in
Hive
credit risk
architecture, its
assessments,
metastore. It's like just like
and fraud
SQL.
detections, it is
HQL is
used.
there, HQL,
In
Hive query
healthcare,
language, difference between HQL
analyzing
and
the
SQL.
patients,
90%
and
they
who
are
is
same,
going
but
to face
10%
the
you see
issue
where it
based
can
on these
handle
records.
unstructured,
And
semi-structured
even
data.
entertainment industry like
functions, you can
Netflix
see loading
using
data
PySpark.
files, Hive tables from HDFS files.
The internal
Popular
tables,
OTT
external
platform
tables
like
working with
Netflix
unstructured,
using
working with
Spark,
XML
right?
data,
Real-time
working Hive,
processing,
working with JSON
personalized
data,
online
URL,
movies
weblog
or web
data,
series.
unions, UDF,
It is going to
UDF,
process nearly
UDTFs,
450
partition
billion
table,
events
performance
per day,
tuning mechanism,
streamed over
partitioning,
server-side
indexing,
applications.
bucketing, and indexing in Hive, right?
And also like
And coming to this PySpark,
e-commerce
PySpark very high-speed
websites like
processing, which has
Flipkart,
great boom today.
Amazon, all these
In this, right,
Apaches.
PySpark
Amazon,
introduction, need
Flipkart
for
are using
PySpark,
Apache Spark
PySpark
for
already
advertising
computations,
and to enhance the customer
persistence
experience.
options, PySpark core
Even in the
computing,
tourism industry, to
groupings and
advise millions of
aggregations,
customers
single
in this
grouping,
way. Today,
multi-grouping, multiple
PySpark is
aggregations,
mostly
various
used, and even
actions and
PySpark has
transformations,
got great demand.
union,
See
distinct,
the
sort
job
by
market
key,
for it, right?
count by value,
Because
count
of
by
its
key,
very high speed,
SQ,
huge
PySpark
data
SQL data
processing,
frame,
a very
data
quick
frame
rate of
API.
speed.
So creating
If you
data
see
frame,
in the
empty
previously,
data
I've shown
frame,
one example.
struct type, struct field, row class,
PySpark
column class,
very
select,
high
color
speed
width, column,
technology,
where,
right?
filter, draw.
And
All these are the built-in
if you
functions
see the
with
salary
many
package
working
for this also
examples,
like 2
PySpark
times more
SQL
than the other
functions, aggregate
technologies,
functions,
or
PySpark
1.5
built-in
times more than
functions,
the other
all these
technologies. You can compare that salary
external
packages,
sources.
right? In the same way, they'll be
Deployment
expecting
modes,
the skills
PySpark
from you, the
applications,
technical
tales and
skills of
tasks,
this PySpark.
driver and
So
executor,
everything we'll
building
be
Spark
discussing from the ground
applications.
level to advanced
So
level with
PySpark
many
streaming
working
concept,
examples.
integration with
You
Kafka
see
and
that course
MLA.
content for it.
Apart from this, even
So
Python, you need to have some knowledge on this Python. So Python
this is the course
basics,
content, big data,
Python
Hadoop, what is
operations,
big data, need for Hadoop,
operators,
RDB
IDs in
MS,
Python,
advantage
flow
of
control
Hadoop
statements,
ecosystem
looping
components,
statements, strings,
HDFS, Hadoop
collections,
distributed
lists,
file system,
tuples,
and map
sets,
reduce, entire
dictionaries,
map reduce in brief,
functions in
Scoop,
Python,
SQL plus Hadoop,
and modules in Python,
the
modular
first 2
programming
characters and the
packages
last
in
3
Python,
characters,
errors and
SQL
exceptions in
plus Hadoop,
Python,
for
file
import and
handling,
export
object-oriented
operations,
programming
exporting
concepts,
from HBase to
regular expressions, how to
importing and
extract required
exporting, and
data from the
also
given data,
transformations, filtering
database
and
connectivity,
grouping,
how to
merging,
connect with the database,
yet
how
another
to
resource
show the
negotiate,
installation of one database, Python
and
datetime,
speculative
operating
execution,
system related,
speculative job, and
iterators,
speculative
generators,
task,
closures,
yarn
decorators, web
components, yarn
scraping,
architecture,
graphic
how
module
the
like
processing is
Excel,
happening.
working with
And
Excel,
I'll be
data
discussing one
analytics,
NoSQL database
reduction to
also.
data science, Python,
So 3
pandas,
processing
module in brief,
components I'll be discussing.
NumPy, numerical Python
One
in
storage
brief,
component like
matplotlib for
HDFS,
plotting
one
visualizations,
NoSQL
generating
database
graphs.
like HBase,
So all
and
this
one
in brief,
streaming
right?
component
Yes.
like Kafka I'll
So I
be
was just
discussing as
saying,
part of this course, right?
so in this course, you'll be learning mainly 4
technologies like database like HBase, Hadoop's database,
Linux, and
and how to
Python.
perform CRUD
So
operations,
Python nearly
creating
50 sessions
tables,
will be
reading,
having. Just
inserting,
now I
update,
showed you right
delete,
how briefly.
and
So both Python
integrations
core and
with
advanced will be discussed. Monday
and
to Friday you will
architecture.
have class for this
Hive,
Python.
one of the
You can
important
attend any
component
of my
Hadoop.
Python
Only you
batch.
can see jobs in
So tomorrow Monday at
you
8
can see a
o'clock
lot of
there is a
jobs
Python
only
batch.
in Hive component.
And
in
this
Hadoop,
coming
Hive is
Thursday
there.
at, if you want
You
evening
can see
batch, there
just
is 8 p.m.
type
There
Hive
is a
jobs. You say
Python batch
just
going
say
to
Hive
start.
jobs.
Monday tomorrow is at 8
You can see a
a.m.
lot of jobs.
And these three things will be on Saturdays and
11,490
Sundays.
Hive job vacancies
2 hours
in
on Saturday,
December
2 hours on Sunday. It
2024.
goes for 12
Hive
weekends.
11,490.
15,000 is
Only
the
on
cost fee
Hive.
for
If
all
you know
this,
that knowledge on this Hive, right? Any queries
Yes.
from your side? No. So as I said, said by the Durga software, you can see a big message in the Zoom chart. Big data Hadoop.
The big
and
message
Hive
is given in the Zoom chart, right?
Big data engineer, right?
Link
Big
will
data
be
Hive,
changing.
Spark, Scoop, right? This one. A big data Hadoop, like yes, lot of jobs for this. So the link will be changing for next Saturday. So you are supposed to get enrolled and coming back to this link. So from next Saturday, we'll be starting with the brief about Hive architecture.
I'll be
It's
demonstrating
metastore.
about the software.
It's like just
other
like
things, right?
SQL.
So get
SQL
enrolled.
is their HQL, Hive query language.
You'll be getting the videos
and
to your
SQL.
Google Drive. 90% they are same, but
Notes,
10%
soft copy of the notes, clear soft copy of the notes will be provided. A WhatsApp group
functions,
for technical discussions, or if you get any errors, you can take snap of it and post in the group.
internal
Interview
tables,
questions,
external tables,
assignments
working
and
with
tasks to work
unstructured,
with,
working with XML data, working high,
So you'll
working
be
with
getting the
JSON
videos
data,
to your
URL
Google
web
Drive,
log
notes
data,
to your mail
unions,
address,
UDF,
and will
UDF,
be added
UDTF,
next Saturday. You'll be
partition
added to
table,
the
performance tuning
WhatsApp groups.
mechanism,
Every day one
indexing,
every session
bucketing,
videos
and
you'll be
indexing
getting.
in
If you
Hive,
miss any
right?
sessions, you can
And
go
coming
through
to the
that
PySpark
videos and check, right?
PySpark very high speed
And attend the
processing,
next
which
session
has
for the
great
better
boom today.
understanding. Any queries
In
from
this
your side, right?
PySpark introduction, need
Any
for
queries from your
PySpark,
side? Anyone?
PySpark RTD
Hello.
computations,
Yes, go ahead. Persistence
Yes.
options,
Regarding
PySpark core
the
computing,
practical and
groupings and
what
aggregations,
type
single
of
grouping,
preparation
multi-grouping,
need to be
multiple
from our
aggregations,
side?
various
Like what type
actions
of
and
device or
transformations,
machine need to be
union,
prepared
listing,
for
sort
this?
by key,
Or there will
found by
be
value, found
remote
by key,
access lab?
PySpark
So
SQL
for
data
the
frame, data frame
practicals, right,
API.
I'll be providing you like
creating data frame, empty data frame,
FIGB
struct
type
type,
you
struct,
need to
filter, row
download.
class, column,
I'll be
class,
forwarding
select,
to your
collect,
Google
which
Drive,
column, where,
and I'll be
filter, drop.
just guiding
All
you.
these are the
I'll be
built-in functions
demonstrating
with
you
many
how to
working
work with it,
examples.
how to use
PySpark
it.
SQL
No need of
functions,
any
aggregate
so
functions,
just whatever
PySpark
system you have
built-in
got,
functions, all this.
that's fine.
External
So
sources, basics of SQL
deployment modes, PySpark
and Linux
applications,
anyhow I'll be
JSON tasks,
discussing.
driver
And
and
Python also
executor,
will be
building
discussed.
Spark applications.
So those
So
are the
PySpark
prerequisites,
streaming
right?
concept,
Linux,
integration with Kafka and
as
ML.
basic SQL and
Apart from this,
Python are the
even Python,
prerequisites.
you
Anyhow,
need to have the
Python and
knowledge on
Linux
this
I'll be
Python.
discussing.
So Python
And
basics,
SQL also wherever required,
Python
I'll be
operations,
just demonstrating that.
operators,
So
IDs
don't
in
worry about
Python,
the
flow
software,
control
just I'll be
statements,
providing you
looping
the things.
statements, strings,
No, I mean for the hardware itself,
selections,
is there a specific
lists,
requirement
sets,
for the laptops
dictionaries.
or
So
something
if
to be?
RAM
functions in
like minimum
Python,
8 GB, if it is fine, if
and
it is there, it's fine. Remaining
modules
every
in
nothing,
Python,
right?
modular
If you have
programming
got RAM,
packages in
okay. If you
Python,
have got
errors and exceptions
minimum
in
8 GB
Python,
RAM required. If you have
file
got less
handling,
than that also, but only
object-oriented
thing is the
programming
speed will be
concepts,
less.
regular
Okay,
expressions,
okay,
how to
fine.
extract
Whenever
required
you
data
type
from
any
the given
command,
data,
very fast
database
or very slow,
connectivity,
you are
how to
getting a
connect with the
response. Depends
database, how
upon
to
your RAM
I'll show you the
capacity.
installation of one database,
Okay.
Python date,
And how long
operating
the
system record,
session is going to be
repeaters,
for the
generators,
next
closures,
weeks?
decorators, web
Because here I'm
scraping,
asking
graphic module
for
like
me
Excel,
Sunday is
working
not
with
the
Excel, data
working day.
analytics,
So next
introduction
week,
to
I'm
data
just
science, Python, pandas
5 to
module
7,
in brief,
5 to 7, right?
NumPy, numerical
5 to
Python in
7.
brief,
5 to
matplotlib
7,
for
right? 2
plotting,
hours and 2 hours on
visualizations,
Saturday, 2
generating
hours.
hours.
graphs.
And
So all
this
this in brief,
Python,
right?
whatever you are
Yes.
attending, either you
So I
can
was
choose
just
morning batch
saying,
or evening batch.
so in this course, you'll be
So
learning
Python
mainly
will
four
be from Monday to Friday.
technologies
It will
like
be
Hadoop,
Python sessions,
PySpark,
need to
Linux,
attend
and
this
Python.
either
So
weekdays
Python nearly
from
50
Monday to
sessions you'll be
Friday,
having.
morning or
Just now I
evening,
showed you right
going
how
through the
briefly.
videos of it.
So both Python
And this
core and
will be in
advanced
the
will be
weekends,
discussed.
2
Monday to
hours on
Friday you'll
Saturday,
have
2 hours
class
on
for this
Sunday.
Python.
Sometimes
You can attend any
we'll be
of my
extending
Python
when we
batch.
start with the practical. So tomorrow Monday at 8 o'clock there
And
is a
for the
Python
Python as
batch.
well, there will be recordings,
And this
correct?
coming Thursday at, if you
So
want
all
evening
these
batch,
are
there is
live
8
sessions.
p.m.
All these are live
There is a
sessions.
Python batch going to
I
start.
mean, yes,
Monday,
but
tomorrow is at 8
because
a.m.
I'm just
And these three
joining
things
from
will be on
different time
Saturdays and
zone and
Sundays.
different
2
even
hours on Saturday, 2 hours on Sunday.
weekdays
It
and
goes for 12
weekend
weekends
days.
in brief.
That's why I'm asking
15,000
mainly
is the
about
post it
if
for
I
all
miss
this,
any
right?
session, there will be recording even
Any
for
queries from your side?
Linux
So
or
as
for Python or
said
for
by the
every
Durga software,
part of
every
this training.
big
Correct?
message in the
For all these things, you'll
Zoom
be getting the
chat.
recordings, right? Immediately,
Okay.
A
the
big
session
message is
completes,
given in the
the
Zoom
session
chat, right?
recording you'll be getting, right?
Link
Great.
will be
Thank
changing.
you. Thanks.
Okay. So if I'm done with your queries, then I'm signing off for now. Meet you on next Saturday, starting with this Hadoop, right? When Hadoop is going, right, we will be learning Python in the weekdays. So the link will be changing by the time this Hadoop completes, so you are supposed to get enrolled. When we start with getting this link, Python advanced will be from next Saturday, we'll be starting with the things. Right. Before that,
I'll be demonstrating about the softwares, other
I'll
things,
be also
right?
demonstrating
So
about
get
the
enrolled
Linux commands.
You'll be getting the videos
Okay.
to your
Thank you
Google
all for
Drive.
your time. Thank you. Meet you on
Notes,
next Saturday.
soft
Get
copy of the
enrolled
notes, clear
for
soft
getting all
copy
these
of the
things,
notes will be
videos,
provided.
notes, and
A
getting added to
WhatsApp
the
group
WhatsApp, right?
for technical
Thank you all.
discussions, or if you
Bye.
get any errors, you can take snap of it and post in the group. Interview questions, assignments and tasks to work with, right? All this. So you'll be getting the videos to your Google Drive, notes to your mail address, and you'll be added next Saturday. You'll be added to the WhatsApp groups every day. Every session videos you'll be getting. If you miss any sessions, you can go through that videos and check, right? And attend the next session for the better understanding. Any queries from your side, right? Any queries from your side, anyone?
Hello.
Yes, go ahead.
Yes. Regarding the practical and labs, what type of preparation need to be from our side? Like what type of device or machine need to be prepared for this? Or there will be remote access lab?
So for the practicals, right, I'll be providing you like a FIGB soft, like what you need to download. I'll be forwarding to your Google Drive, and I'll be just guiding you. I'll be demonstrating you how to work with it, how to use it. No need of any, so just whatever system you have got, that's fine. So
Okay.
basics of SQL required, and Linux anyhow I'll be discussing, and Python also will be discussed. So those are the prerequisites, right? Linux as basic SQL and Python are the prerequisites. Anyhow, Python and Linux I'll be discussing, and basic SQL also wherever required I'll be just demonstrating, right? So don't worry about the software. Just I'll be providing you the things.
No, I mean for the hardware itself, is there a specific requirement for the laptops or
So
something
if
to be?
RAM like minimum 8 GB, if it is fine, if it is there, it's fine. Remaining nothing, right? If you have got a good
Okay.
RAM, okay. If you have got a minimum 8 GB RAM required, if you have got less than that also, but the only thing is the speed will be less.
Okay.
Whenever
Okay.
you type
Fine.
whenever you type any command, very fast or very slow, you are getting the response. Depends upon your RAM capacity.
Okay.
What is
And
your
how long the session is going to be for the next weeks? Because here I'm asking because for me Sunday is not the working day.
So next week,
I
right?
just
So 5 to 7, 5 to 7, right?
5 to 7.
5 to 7, right? 2 hours and 2 hours on Saturday, 2 hours
12.
on Sunday. And this Python, whatever you are attending, either you can choose morning batch or evening batch for Python.
Okay.
It will be from Monday to Friday. It will be Python sessions. You need to attend this either weekdays from Monday to Friday, morning or evening, or going through the videos of it. And this will be in the weekends, 2 hours on Saturday, 2 hours on Sunday. Sometimes we'll be extending when we start with the practicals.
And for the Python as well, there will be recordings, correct?
So all these are live sessions. All these are live sessions.
I mean, yes, but because I'm just joining from different time zone and different even weekend days, weekdays and weekend days. That's why I'm asking mainly about if I missed any session, there will be recording even for Linux or for Python or for every part of this
Everything
training, correct?
for all these things, you'll be getting the recordings, right? Immediately
Okay,
the session completes, the session recording you'll be getting, right?
great. Thank
For all
you.
this.
Thanks.
Okay. So if I'm done with your queries, then I'm signing off for now. Meet you on next Saturday, starting with this Hadoop, right? When Hadoop is going, right, we will be learning Python in the weekdays. So by the time this Hadoop completes, this Python core gets completed. When we start with PySpark, Python advanced will be started. Both will be running parallel. Right? Before that, before I start with this, right, I'll be also demonstrating about the Linux commands, right? Fine. Okay. Thank you all for your time. Thank you. Meet you on next Saturday. Get enrolled for getting all these things, videos, notes, and getting added to the WhatsApp, right? Yes. Thank you all. Bye. Yeah. 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 Good evening, all. So myself, I'm like I hold 20 plus years of experience, which includes nearly 10 plus years of experience in Hadoop and Spark environment. So before I start, can anyone please confirm whether my voice is clear, whether the screen is visible or not, right? Okay. So as part of today, I'll be yes. Thank you. Yeah. As part of today's exam, I'll be covering the following things. So what is big data? What is a big data? Why Hadoop? Why Hadoop? Drawbacks with the current databases. Drawbacks with the current databases. Drawbacks with the current databases. Hadoop and Spark. Hadoop and PySpark. Advantages. Hadoop and PySpark. Job market. So yes, starting with big data, the name itself saying like huge volumes of data. Currently, the data is getting stored. How the data storage units like KBs of data, MBs of data, GBs of data, gigabytes, terabytes. Beyond that, we have got petabytes, exabytes, zettabytes, etabytes, sotabytes, so on. KBs of data, MBs of data, GBs, TBs, petabytes, exabytes, etabytes, sotabytes, right? You should have seen KBs of data, MBs of data, GBs of data, even TBs of data. But beyond that, today data is getting generated in petabytes, right? 1 petabyte equal to 1 petabyte equal to 1024 TBs. Already 1 TB is a large storage unit. Examples of petabytes of data generation. Examples of petabytes of data generation. Take example of a banking sector. If you take example of a SBI bank, within the city we see hundreds of branches for SBI. Within the entire state we see thousands of branches for SBI. Within the entire country lakhs of branches for SBI, right? Again, with each branch millions of customers, each customer making multiple transactions per hour, per day, per week, per month, and year. Each and every transaction has to be stored, right? Huge data is getting generated. Forget about this You are aware about social media like Facebook. For Facebook, millions and trillions of users. Not only within the country, entire world. In a minute, how many posts and videos are getting circulated? It has to store each and every post and video, right? What is the data generated by Facebook in a minute, in a hour, in a day, in a week? So huge data is getting generated, right? Not only like Facebook, today, most of the applications are generating data in petabytes. If you talk about any application, for example, if I take 1 minute transaction, how many Facebook posts? What is the data generated by Facebook in a minute? What is the data generated by Twitter in a minute? Keeps on generating, right? And what is the data generated by Google? Google queries. Today, everyone are querying in the Google, right? What is the data generated by Google in 1 minute? And everyone, you are uploading the videos in the YouTube. YouTube videos upload. What should be the storage capacity to store all the videos? And millions and trillions of users. Email messages. Millions and trillions of messages need to be stored, right? And just now I was talking about bank transactions. Bank transactions. Or if we talk about the telecom transactions, huge data. Telecom transactions. Or if I talk about e-commerce transactions, like Flipkart, Amazon transactions, huge data is getting generated everywhere. Huge data is getting generated everywhere, right? Yes. So everywhere, huge data is getting generated. And for storing this huge data means in petabytes, right? So if you talk currently we have got databases. Currently we have got databases like Oracle, MySQL, DB2, SQL Server, right? All this they are used for OLTP, online transactional processing. All this they are used for what? Online transactional processing for day-to-day operations. But we have got some specialized databases. Used for data warehouse purpose like Netija. We have got some specialized databases like Netija, Vertica, Teradata. These are used for data warehouse purpose, right? These are used for data warehouse. These databases are specialized databases. They can handle data up to some extent. But beyond that, so for storing unlimited data storage, databases and specialized databases cannot handle unlimited storage, cannot store unlimited data. So as a solution to this storage level problems and processing level problems, we have got a framework called Hadoop. So before I go with the Hadoop, you need to know about the data, how the data is getting generated, right? This is the data which has been generated from the last 50 years. 1974 to okay. Observe this. (2014 to 2024). See the last. Observe this last 10 days, 10 years, sorry, with the previous 40 years. 20% of the data, what we are seeing in the current, see 80% of the data, what we are seeing currently has been generated from last 10 to 15 years. And previous 40 years, only 20% of the data is getting generated. Reasons for the huge data generation, especially from the last 10 years, because of usage of technology, because of usage of smartphones, because of usage of internet, because of usage of technology, usage of smartphones, usage of internet, right? Huge data is getting generated, especially from the last 10 to 15 years. And the main sources from where this data is getting generated, mainly three sources of data. Mainly three sources of data. Social data, machine data, transactional data. Social data, social data, machine data, and transactional data. Data which has been generated from social websites, right? Like Facebook, Twitter, WhatsApp, all this we call such data as social data. Machine data, data which has been generated by reading or scanning the barcodes or RFID chips, such kind of data we call as machine data. And transactional data, data which has been generated from day-to-day transactions like bank transactions, telecom transactions. Yes. And this is going to occupy three formats, three types of data. You can see like three types of data. Three types of data, right? Structured data. Yes, structured data, semi-structured, and unstructured. Unstructured data. Structured data, data which is organized in the form of structured manner in the form of rows and columns, like database tables, DB tables, Excel sheets. Semi-structured data. Semi-structured data means data which is not fully structured, which is not fully unstructured, like JSON files. Unstructured data. Unstructured data like raw text, short messages. So this semi-structured means XML, JSON all comes as semi-structured. Short messages, raw text, images, videos, right? So the biggest challenge is today handling this unstructured data. So databases can handle only structured data, but the biggest challenge to handle all varieties, structured, semi-structured, and structured. So Hadoop can handle all varieties of data, structured, semi-structured, and unstructured data. So day by day, as data is increasing enormously, as we need to have some proper storage systems, right, for storing and for processing it. So Hadoop, we have got a framework like Hadoop. So to handle as a solution to all the storage level problems and processing level problems, we have got a framework like Hadoop. Hadoop is mainly meant for two things, for storage and for processing. It is meant for storage and it is meant for processing. It is meant for storage, it's meant for processing. For storage, we are using HD. So okay, it is performing storage and processing. Hadoop performs both storage and processing. If you talk, any technology performs either storage or processing. For example, C or C++ or Java or .NET. All this, they are meant for processing. They are meant for processing. And if you talk like Oracle, MySQL, SQL Server, all this, they are meant for storage. So any technology performs either storage or processing, but Hadoop performs both storage and processing. So for storage, does Hadoop use any databases internally for storing its data? No. It is going with Hadoop distributed file system, and for processing, it is going with an execution model called as MapReduce. It is going with an execution model called as MapReduce. For storage, HDFS, and for processing, MapReduce. Or currently we are going with Spark, MapReduce Spark. Okay. So you need to clearly understand. So when Hadoop is able to perform both storage and processing, what is the necessity of the current processing and storage technologies? When Hadoop is performing both storage and processing, what is the use of this means? You need to clearly understand Hadoop is for batch applications. Hadoop is for batch processing, for millions and trillions of records. For a single transaction, Hadoop is not required. If you are making a single transaction happen, go for databases only. Hadoop is good for huge data. Hadoop is good for huge data. Hadoop is bad for small data, right? And you may get a query, why databases like Oracle? So what is the drawback with the databases? Drawbacks with the current databases. Drawbacks with the current databases. Drawbacks with the current databases. First thing is, most of the databases limited storage. Most of the databases limited storage. And secondly, most of the databases with a limited storage. Yes. And no parallel processing in most of the databases, no parallel processing. Most of the databases, no parallel processing. And limited storage, no parallel processing. And next, see here, as volume increases, volume increases, volume of the data increases, speed decreases, volume increases, speed decreases here. For example, observe this query, select total amount, right? From sales one, total amount from sales one, which has got 10 records. Select the total amount. Select total amount from sales two. From sales two, which has got 1 lakh, which has got 10 lakh records. Select the total amount from sales 3. Total amount from sales 3. Observe. Here it has got 10 crore. It has got 10 crore records. From query to query, as the volume increasing, right? Query to query, volume increasing. So which query is going to execute faster among these three? Obviously, the first query with 10 records, right? Total amount of 10 records as compared with 10 lakh and 10 crore. So query to query, as the volume increasing, speed decreasing, right? Speed decreases, right? Next, if complexity increases, right? Speed decreases, right? Yes, 1 second. If complexity increases, speed decreases. For example, observe this query. Same thing I'm taking, right? Total, select total amount from sales one. Assume it has got 1 lakh records. The same way, select average amount. Sales one only. Select average amount from sales one. Okay. Same 1 lakh records only. Same table, right? Select the standard deviation, right? Standard deviation of amount. Standard deviation of amount from sales one. Same thing. So which query is going to execute faster among these three? Which query is going to execute faster among these three means obviously again the first query, because the average amount is a two-step process. First sum to be calculated, next average to be calculated, as compared to the first query. Second query is a time taking, right? And standard deviation of amount, a lot of internal processing is required. So query to query, even if the complexity increasing, speed decreasing, right? Yes. Databases can handle only structured data. Databases can handle only structured data. They cannot handle unstructured, semi-structured data. For example, just check with this. If I want to take reviews for a particular movie, reviews, a table. We have got a table. user and the review. User giving review. If the movie is good, for example, user 1, user 2, user 3, in this way 100 users are there. If the movie is good, saying 1. If the movie is bad, saying 0. If the movie is good, saying 1. Saying 0. Saying in the form of zeros and ones, right? So they are giving, okay, user 1, user 2, user 3. So 100 users, they are giving in the form of zeros and ones. Can you write an SQL query to count the number of ones and zeros? Can you write an SQL query to see the number of ones and zeros, right? How many ones and how many zeros means how many goods and not goods. Yes. Select review wise count. Review wise count I want. Review wise count from a reviews table. Group by review. Group by review. Select review wise count from reviews group by review. Observe this output. 1 and 0 review wise. The count 90 people saying the movie good, 10 people saying the movie bad. Okay, but generally reviews won't be given in the form of zeros and ones. They'll be given in the own text format. First person saying movie is good. Second person saying movie is not good. So in this way, in the own text format, they are given in the own text format. Movie is good, movie is not good, right? In this way, they are given. Can you write an SQL query now saying how many goods and how many not goods? We cannot write a query, right? Now we cannot, databases cannot handle this kind of data. Even by using keyword counter, it gives wrong computation because even not good has got good in it. So databases can handle only structured data. They cannot handle unstructured or semi-structured data. Hadoop advantages. First one, unlimited data storage. Unlimited data storage. Unlimited data storage is possible, right? Unlimited data storage. Unlimited data storage. Second thing is like very high speed processing. Very high speed processing. Unlimited data storage, very high speed processing. Can handle all varieties of data. Can handle all varieties of data. Fourth, it's an open source. It is an open source. No licensing is required. Unlimited data storage, very high speed processing, can handle all varieties of data. Open source. Commodity hardware. Commodity hardware. Unlimited data storage, very high speed processing, can handle all varieties of data. Then open source, commodity hardware, right? Okay. Commodity hardware means it can run on any hardware. Doesn't mean that you need to have the latest configuration. There's an open source. Most of these Hadoop products are from Apache. It can take from Apache major site. No licensing required. Can handle all varieties of data, structured, unstructured, and semi-structured. Very high speed processing because of parallel processing. Unlimited data storage. Huge data can be stored. Unlimited. Hadoop is proven in the market, storage point of view and processing point of view. Okay. There are many tests were conducted, right? For example, Yahoo has conducted a test. Yahoo has conducted a test. Yahoo has taken a table of 100 TB consisting of 1024 columns. 1024 columns. The task sorting based on 16 columns, sorting based on 16 columns. So time taken by different databases. Time taken by different databases. Oracle has taken nearly 3.5 days to process this. MySQL has taken nearly 6 days. Teradata, right? Specialized database used for data warehouse purpose. It has just taken 4.5 hours. One more specialized database used for data warehouse. Netija. It has just taken 3 hours. And finally, Hadoop has taken just 3.4 minutes. 3.4 minutes. The latest version of Hadoop just taken 1.2 minutes. So this is what the Hadoop speed has compared with the other databases. Whether these have taken days of time, have taken hours of time, these have taken minutes of time, right? 100 TBs of data, right? So Hadoop is proven in the market, processing point of view, and even storage point of view, right? Yes. And even Spark, even if we talk about Spark, very high speed processing, right? So just I'll give some overview about Spark, just 5-10 minutes I take. What is Apache Spark? Why PySpark? Why PySpark? Need for PySpark. Need for PySpark. Real life usage. Real life usage of PySpark. PySpark job market. What is Apache Spark? Why PySpark? Need for PySpark. Real life usage of PySpark. PySpark job market. Okay. So Apache Spark, it is an open source distributed cluster computing framework introduced by Apache Software Foundation. It is a general engine for big data analysis, processing, and computation, right? Why PySpark? It is a Python API to use Spark. Python API to use Spark. It's an open source cluster computing system used for big data solutions. PySpark is the lightning fast technology that is designed for fast computation. It is one of the demanding tool among the data engineers to work with bigger data sets. It is running distributed it's used for running distributed SQL, for creating a data pipelines, ingesting data into databases, for machine learning algorithms, working with the graphs and working with the data streams, right? Need for PySpark, if we talk huge amount of data, is getting generated both through offline and through online. This data contains hidden patterns, unknown corrections, market trend, user preferences, and other useful information. It is necessary that we need to extract valuable information from the raw data. So we require some efficient tools to perform different types of operations on this huge data. But there are various tools to perform multiple tasks on this huge data. But we doesn't have, okay, these tools are not so appealing. So we need to have some flexible and scalable, right, tools to crack a big data and gain benefits from it. So PySpark is such a kind. PySpark is such a kind, right? So the combination of Python and Spark. So combination of Python and Spark would be the very efficient way for the world of big data. So that's why Apache Spark community came up with a tool. It has come up with a tool called PySpark. It came up with a tool called PySpark, that is Python API for Apache Spark. Okay. And if we talk about the real life use cases, right, used in the commercial sector, like Apache Spark real-time processing systems, banks and other financial fields, they're using Spark to retrieve the customer's social media profile and analyze to gain useful insights, which can help to take the right decisions. The extracted information is used for credit risk assessment, targeted ads, and customer segmentation. Spark plays a significant role in fraud detection and in healthcare systems to analyze the patient's records and analyzing and identifying which patient is going to face the issue. And even in the entertainment industry, right? A popular OTT platform, Netflix, using Apache Spark. It is using Apache Spark for real-time processing, personalized online movies and web series, right? So it processed nearly 450 billion events per day that are streamed over server-side applications. And even for trading and e-commerce, right? Websites like Flipkart, Amazon, all this they are using Apache Spark for advertising. And for tourism industry also, advising millions of travelers by comparing hundreds of tourism sites. Okay. PySpark job market. PySpark job market. So if you see the job market, right, PySpark job market, a lot of jobs for this PySpark. It has got a great demand, and you can see like huge salary packages for this PySpark especially. And the same way they'll be expecting the skills from you, right? Yes. Fine. You can just Google and check PySpark jobs and Hadoop jobs, right? A lot of jobs for that. You can see the course content, right? What I'm going to discuss as part of this big data Hadoop, What is big data? Why Hadoop? Drawbacks of these databases, sources and types of data, comparison with other technologies, RDBMS and Hadoop, advantages of Hadoop, Hadoop ecosystem components, HDFS, the first thing, right? Hadoop distributed file system, features of HDFS, name node, data node, blocks, configuring block size, HDFS architecture, name node, data node, secondary name node, job tracker, task tracker, yes, map reduce architecture, processing domains, S and the scoop for import and export operations, SQL and Hadoop. For importing data from databases to Hadoop and exporting data from Hadoop to databases for import export operations we use. Yarn. Yet another. So during this import export operations, you can perform different operations, transformations, filterings, mergings, sortings. Yarn. Yet another resource negotiator. What is speculative execution, speculative job, speculative task? Comparison with the previous versions. Yarn components, resource different components, right? How the processing is going to happen within this yarn, and NoSQL database. What is NoSQL? NoSQL problems with RDBMS, types of NoSQL databases, different types of NoSQL in that one NoSQL database, that is HBase, Hadoop's database, right? And here we are going to discuss how to create CUDA operations, HBase use cases, their column families, HBase architecture, HBase data modeling, HBase CUDA operations, Hive and HBase integration, Hive introduction, Hive architecture, Hive metastore, Hive query language, differences between HQL and SQL, Hive built-in functions, loading data from local files to Hive tables, loading data from HDFS files to Hive tables, inner tables, external tables, Hive working with unstructured data, Hive working with unstructured data, Hive working with XML data, Hive working with JSON data. JSON data, Hive working with URLs and weblog data, Hive unions, Hive joins, inserting into local files, inserting into HDFS files, Hive UDF, Hive UDAF, Hive user-defined function, Hive user-defined aggregated functions, Hive UDF, user-defined functions, user-defined aggregated functions, user-defined tabular functions. UDF, UDAF, UDTF, user-defined functions, user-defined aggregated functions, user-defined tabular functions. Partition table, non-partition tables, multi-column partitioning, right? Partitioned tables, non-partitioned tables, multi-column partitioning, dynamic partitions, performance tuning mechanism, right? Yes. And bucketing in Hive, indexing in Hive, right? Performance tuning mechanisms in Hive. And so I'm going to discuss one storage component here, three processing components, MapReduce, Hive, and PySpark, and one NoSQL database, and also one streaming technology, right? Like Kafka will be discussed. PySpark introduction, why PySpark, need for PySpark, PySpark session, PySpark context, and PySpark RTD computations, operations on RTD, persistence options, PySpark core computations, groupings and aggregations, single grouping, multi-grouping, single aggregations, multiple aggregations, various actions and transformations, count by key, count by value, sort by key, union distincts, various count aggregations, PySpark SQL data frame, SQL API, data frame API, how to create a data frame API, and PySpark creating a data frame, creating a empty data frame, convert RTD to data frame, convert data frame to pandas, PySpark show, struct type and struct field, row class, column class, select, collect, with column renamed, where and filter, drop and drop duplicates, order by and sort, group by, John, union by name, UDF, map, flat map for each sample, pivot, partition by array type, map type, PySpark SQL functions, PySpark aggregate functions, window functions, data and timestamp functions, JSON functions, reading and writing JSON file, PySpark built-in functions, when expr lit split, substring, translate, overlay, to timestamp, to date, months between, explode, array, collect, set, map keys, map values, struct. So many built-in functions with many working examples. PySpark external sources working with SQL statements. Spark and Hive integration, Spark and MySQL, working with CSV, working with JSON transformations actions, narrow and wide transformations, adding of new rows, dropping rows, handling nulls, deployment modes, local mode, cluster mode, PySpark applications, stages and tasks, drivers and executors, and building applications, pipelines, deploying Spark apps, performance tuning, PySpark streaming concepts, PySpark streaming, right? And the integration with Kafka and PySpark ML. And also for this PySpark, you require Python, right? Total coding goes in Python, total implementation in Python. Even Python, both core and advanced, both are discussed. What is Python? Why Python? Applications, features, versions, Python operations, modes, interactive mode, batch mode, various editors and IDEs, integrated development environments, constants, data types, variables, comments, escape sequences, strings in Python, right? And operators in Python, Python IDEs, Anaconda, Prompt Anaconda Navigator, Jupyter Notebook, Spider, Eclipse, VS Code, flow control statements, looping statements, strings in Python, string indexing, string slicing, string functions, string methods, string special characters, collections, list tuple sets, dictionaries, Python lists, list operations, list indexing, list slicing, list functions, list methods, list addresses, tuples, sets, dictionaries, functions in Python, modules, modular programming, renaming a model, reloading a model, normal import from import, packages in Python, errors and exceptions, file handling in Python, object-oriented programming concepts, regular expression module, extracting data from the given data, database connectivity, installation of database, Python data and time, operating system module, and advanced concepts like iterators, generators, closers, decorators, working with CSV, XML, JSON, graphic programming, and Excel workbook, data analytics, introduction to this data science, pandas model in brief, NumPy model in brief, and matplotlib model in brief. So this is what I'll be discussing, right? Yes. So here mainly 4 things: Hadoop, PySpark, Linux, and Python total core and advanced, right? This Python nearly like 50 sessions will be there on this. You can attend for this. You will be attending regular sessions, right? From Monday to Friday. So here Monday at 8 a.m. there is one session, one Python batch. You can attend this. Means Python you need to attend separately because it is time taking. Or Thursday there is a batch at 8 p.m. This the coming Thursday. IST timings, right? 8 a.m. if you want morning or evening, right? And this Hadoop, PySpark, and Linux It goes for nearly 12 weekends. 12 weekends, right? Saturday 2 hours, Sunday 2 hours. All right. 5 to 7. 5 to 7 it will be right. And the fee structure is 15,000 for this. In brief, in depth, we will be discussing all this. 15,000 for this, right? Fine. Any queries from your side? Tomorrow also you can attend the session at 5 o'clock. Same time, using the same link to see more discussion on this, right? Yes. Any queries from your side?
Sir, will you continue this batch because we have very less strength, right?
Hello? Yeah, no, it will be continued.
Because only 2 members joined, right? That's why I have that doubt.
No. Some other students also are available who are attending Python. They are looking for big data to start. They are attending
Okay.
already Python sessions who have got enrolled for these packages.
Okay.
They already attended this demo, Hadoop demo, but they are attending for the regular sessions to start.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Fine. So tomorrow also you can attend to see more discussion on this same time at 5 p.m. using the same link, right? Yes. Fine.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Yeah. So in the last class, just we had an introductory session, right? What is big data and why Hadoop drawbacks with the current databases? Yes, big data like huge volumes of data. So currently we have got databases for storing the data like Oracle, MySQL, DB2, SQL Server, and we have got some specialized, just I'll take 2 minutes what we have discussed in the last session. Specialized databases like Netezza, Vertica, and Teradata used for data warehouse purpose. But these databases and specialized databases, they can handle data up to some certain extent, right? Beyond that, they cannot support, right? So we have what? So as a solution to all the storage level problems and processing level problems, we have got a framework like Hadoop. Hadoop is mainly meant for two things. Generally, any technology used either for storage or for processing. They're used either for storage or processing, but Hadoop is used for both storage and processing. Yes. Meant for storage and second meant for processing. It is meant for both storage and processing. Hadoop is meant for both storing data and processing data. We talk about like C, C++, Java, .NET, all meant for processing. Oracle, MySQL, DB2, SQL Server, all meant for storage. But Hadoop performs both storage and processing. For storage, it doesn't use any databases because databases has got a lot of drawbacks as compared with this, right? So Hadoop is going with a special kind of file system. It's going with a special kind of file system called as Hadoop distributed file system. And for processing, it is not going with any, for processing, it is not going with any current technology, right? Yes. It is going with an execution model called as MapReduce, and currently we are using Spark. Spark, very high speed processing technology, processing huge data in quick time. All right, yes. So for storage HDFS and for processing MapReduce on Spark. Yes, drawbacks with the current databases. Drawbacks with the current databases. What limit? Okay. So if it, before I go with the drawbacks with the databases, you may ask why if Hadoop is there for storing and processing, what is the use of the current processing technologies and storage technologies? Already Hadoop can perform both storage and processing. Why again this storage and processing technologies? You need to clearly understand, right? Hadoop is for batch applications. Hadoop is for batch applications, sorry. Hadoop is meant for batch application. Hadoop is meant for batch applications. Hadoop is meant for batch applications. So there are two types of application. What do you mean by batch application? There are two types of applications. There are two types of applications. The first one, online applications. Second is like batch applications. So what is the difference between these two? Online applications and batch applications. Hadoop is not for online applications. Hadoop is meant for batch applications. Online applications, user interactive applications, user interactive applications. User interactive applications. Here user gives the input. User interactive applications, here user gives the input. User gives the input. Example, booking a movie ticket. Booking a movie ticket. Making an online transaction. Making an online transaction. Booking a movie ticket, making an online transaction, right? So here compulsory, yeah, the user need to use the input, the source account and destination account. User has to provide that how much amount to be forwarded and what is the source account, what is the destination account. User interacts. But batch application, user non-interactive applications. User non-interactive applications. User non-interactive applications, right? So Hadoop is meant for this user non-interactive applications. Here user is nowhere required. User is nowhere required. User is nowhere required. Here example, railway ticketing PNR status. Railway ticketing PNR status, currently our status is 200. After 1 hour it is 150. Tomorrow morning it is 100. Tomorrow evening it got confirmed. Tomorrow evening it got confirmed, right? Yes. Railway ticketing PNR status. So this is happening. And here user is nowhere required. Here everything happening in the background. Most of these banking applications and financial applications are batch applications. And also like generating credit card statements for millions of customers. Credit card statements for millions of customers. For millions of customers. Generating credit card statements for millions of customers. Railway ticketing PNR status. That's generating credit card statements for millions of customers. Okay. So understood, right? Online applications, batch applications. Hadoop is meant for batch application, not for online applications. So batch applications use a non-interactive applications. And here, drawbacks with the current databases. Why databases are not used for storing Hadoop's data? Drawbacks with the current databases. First thing is limited storage. Most of the databases very less storage, right? Limited storage or less storage. No parallel processing in most of the databases. No parallel processing in most of the databases. And as volume increasing, speed decreases. Here, see that queries, right? For example, total amount from sales 1, 10 records. Total amount from sales to 10 lakh records. Total amount from sales 10 crore records. Here, as volume increasing from query to query, as the volume increasing, speed decreasing, right? The same way, if complexity increasing, also speed is decreasing here. Total amount from sales 1 lakh records. Average amount from sales 1 lakh records. Standard deviation of amount 1 lakh records. But here, query to query, which query executes faster? Again, the first query.